My hope was, talking about 20 years ago, or longer than 20 years ago, that as things opened up, that China would become more democratic. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. They've sort of got this sort of strange mix of very strong government control with a sort of like a free market system on one side and a government coercion and control on the other side. Now, that can only get you so far. You can't get the full freedoms and prosperity that markets deliver without giving people that economic freedoms as well. And I remember once I was in, I think it was somewhere in Guangdong, down the downtown city area, and there was an underpass, and they actually had like an escalator that you would go to underpass and under the road. Anyhow, as I was going down the underpass, and all of a sudden some guys pushed past me, then a couple of policemen pushed past me. Anyhow, they tackled the bloke down, and one of the policemen had this big rubber truncheon, and he's gone whack on this bloke's kneecap, like would have broken his kneecap, sort of thing. And then another policeman's got his steel cap boot, and he's gone bang into the bloke's ribs. This is right in front of thousands of people going. All of a sudden, straighten up, and you stand at attention, and you make sure you don't cross before you're meant to. But you think, I remember thinking, well, if you've got over 1 billion people, is that how you have to police the place? And I always had, because it was such a, I probably was wrong in my thinking, but that maybe you needed some type of that type of totalitarian control over 1 billion people, but you can slightly loosen up over time. But sadly, we're not seeing that. In fact, we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing places like Hong Kong and scenes like, I used to regularly travel for Hong Kong, and always one of the favourite places in the world to go. There was that hustle and bustle of the economy and the drive and the entrepreneurial spirit of the people of Hong Kong. And to see the scenes of basically the protests and having a lot of their freedom and democracy taken away is really quite disturbing. So look, we can be hopeful in this space that eventually it's got to become from the Chinese people. And that's why we've got to make sure that we are very firm and very committed, and we cannot at all bow down and kowtow to the Chinese. They smell weakness. If you appease them, that is leading, eventually lead to disaster, because they'll just want more and more and more and more. I'm hopeful that the Chinese will open up, but it's also up to countries in the West to make sure they are not going down more centralised control routes. And unfortunately, in many Western countries, that's what we see is happening. So how can we encourage the Chinese to have more freedoms and democracies in their country, when in Western countries we're heading in the opposite direction?